Hey, so I've been really bad about doing video updates, so I'm just gonna do it now while I actually have like spare time that I had set aside to actually do this video. So I'm about 7 weeks post revision and about 2 years on T. I'm really bad at keeping dates straight. In general, I'm really bad with numbers. I remember maybe three birthdays out of everyone I know, and that's essentially just based on one of the birthdays is just close to mine, and then one of them is my girlfriend, well, fiance's birthday, so I should really know that one. But aside from that, I really don't remember anything to do with the number, so it isn't so much of a surprise that I don't know how long I've been on T, or well, I know it's been about 2 years, or how long post revision I am. So yeah, but approximately 7 weeks post revision and approximately 2 years on T. This is why I'm not a doctor. Yes, there are a lot of reasons why I'm not a doctor. But moving on, I do have a cold, by the way, so yeah, if I sniff, then I'm sorry. Anyway, um, as I'm pretty sure I might have announced before, I am now looking into getting bottom surgery. Reason being is just because it's become something that's emerging as being more important to me. I figure at first my dysphoria was all over my body, and then as things were being dealt with via HTR and SRS, I kind of migrated to the lower region, and because all my dysphoria is essentially in that area, um, it's just become a more prominent concern. Just as I'm sort of checking things off the list, I guess like the one essential thing that is missing has become more important. And this could also just be because that phantom limb syndrome I know I've mentioned before. Um, I feel like I physically have something there, and I have, you know, like sensation associated with that, and just to not have it there is becoming increasingly frustrating, especially as I'm living um, as male in society. I don't identify as trans. Aside from the internet and aside from people who know and people I do talk to about this, I mean, I live my day-to-day life as nothing but a regular guy. I go to school and I'm completely stealth, except to my teachers who I come out to just for the sake of name. Um, and yeah, work, everything like that. I I don't live as a trans guy, so it's just and it's just becoming more and more important to me. So it is something I'm looking forward to. It is astronomically expensive, so it's not something I will be getting anytime soon. And it's also something I have to look into in greater detail because it's very difficult surgery to get in North America. From what I know, it's considered experimental. So yeah, I do have to look into that a lot more. I just want to put that out there that before I said I felt like I didn't need bottom surgery, but for the past 8 months or so, I've that tide has sort of changed. Um, I guess as my priorities maybe have changed as things have been dealt with. So I just wanted to put that on the table. Cat staring at me intently, just wondering what I'm doing. Um, will also be signing up for my hysterectomy soon. I kind of don't like. I want to get it. I just want to get it out of the way, but I don't want to get it because I don't want to have to spend another period of time recovering from surgery. I really, really hate being bedridden. I hate not being able to go out and do my daily workout. Um, it puts me in a real slump, and that's what happened after my revision. I mean, I could see that I lost an immense amount of muscle, and now I'm going back to the gym, and I'm not at the level that I was when I left the gym. I have to sort of redo all of my progress that I'd made, and it's upsetting to me. I do like being physically active. I hate being stagnant. I hate being stuck in a place. I hate being um, unable. So yeah, I I just don't want to have to spend another time recovering, especially not in the summer. I'm hoping that it's something I can get done next fall, maybe, but yeah, that's the reason why I'm holding off on it, just because it's not something I want to spend time recovering from, but it has to be done. Name change as well, although that's really just my fault, in terms of not sending paperwork in. But it needs to be done, and I'm actually thinking I might have to redo my paperwork that I've already done, because I'm strongly considering changing my middle name to my grandfather's first name. He recently passed away, and my brother's middle name is my other grandfather's or grandpa's first name. So he was named after one of my grandpas, and I was recently talking to my mom, and she was mentioning how she feels our family doesn't associate with her side of the family. I told her, well, I like your side of the family a lot. Like, I'd liked, I respect them greatly. I think they're all interesting people, and she was really happy to hear that. So, and I really love my grandfather. He was probably the most interesting man I've ever come across in my life. Like, he had a study behind a moving bookshelf. He was so interesting. He was a writer. He was possibly a spy. We don't really know, but I'd love to put my middle name as his name. So that might happen, and I think that might be a really good way to go. I also wanted to talk a bit about hormones and puberty and changes and all that, just because I've seen some people um, posting like that they're anxious when changes don't happen in a certain amount of time, because Billy's voice dropped at 3 months on testosterone, and it's 7 months for me and my voice hasn't dropped yet. That's fine. Think about it. All men, their puberty happens at different points. I don't have facial hair. That's part of genetics. I mean, I have a little bit, but that's part of my genetics, and I just have to look at my brother and see that he was a late bloomer, and his puberty was very gradual. So, by all rights, mine will probably, and I know mine has been very, very gradual. And I may not get facial hair for a while, just looking at the way he developed. So, but that doesn't mean I won't have facial hair. The speed at which things happen does not affect the outcome. Some guys have all their changes happen by 3 months on testosterone. Some guys, their voices are still dropping at 3 years on testosterone. It's very different rate for different people. As we know, biological processes are not the same for all people. My voice began sort of changing at 2 months on testosterone, but it didn't really drop until about 6 or 7 months on testosterone. And it is still changing, and it is still wacky. I don't have much control over my voice, just because it is still kind of shifting and changing. So sorry, I'm snotting all over the place. So if you are concerned and you are anxious, don't be. It's not a race. It's not like if your voice drops by 2 months on testosterone and super deep on 2 months on testosterone, you're going to have a deeper voice. That's not the case. Your voice just depends on how deep your voice is for anyone else. I mean, it doesn't depend on how fast changes happen on testosterone. So don't worry about it, and don't compare your changes to other people, because it really doesn't mean anything to do that. There's no way in which to compare. It's not like at 2 months you should have this, and this, and change. Doesn't happen like that, so don't worry about it. Okay, now I guess I should do some sort of chest reveal, even though you've been able to see it this whole time. Our apartment's really messy, so I'm gonna try to do this without revealing too much mess. Okay. So, at first the nipples were, I took the bandages off, and to be quite honest, it didn't look very good. It was all bruised and everything, and I remember this nipple was like bloody and stuff, and I was just like, oh, and then I put my binder back on. But I mean, things have really improved. I mean, dramatically improved, and that happened over a very short amount of time. I mean, by I took my bandages off to check, and I was like, this doesn't look too great. And then, like, a week later, it was completely different. The nipples especially have been healing fantastically. And because I've been through this before, I sort of have an idea of how things are going to heal. So I'm really looking forward to how things will look in a few months from now and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really happy and I'm really confident with how things are going to go. And I'm just excited to work out my chest again because I lost so much muscle. And it's really upsetting. But hopefully I will. There's a cat. There she is. Hopefully, come here. No, you want to be in the video. Come on. Hopefully I'll be feeling up to snuff. I love that line. Hopefully I'll be feeling up to snuff in a short amount of time so I can work out some more. But yeah, I'm happy with how things are going, and I'm looking forward to how they heal over. So yeah, thanks for watching, sorry for the length, and sorry for my lack of updates. So I'll talk to you later.